Hi again, everybody. You're traveling with Jack, and of course, as always, with my beautiful heavenly wife, Pam. Of course, that's the name of our channel. That's why I say that. And today's video is really not a travel video. It's not a cooking video. It's not a grief support video. It's more of just a video of concern. Something that I see going on in the world around us that I'm sure you see happening as well. And it just seems like nobody's doing anything about it. And I really don't know what the answer is. But it has to do with the housing crisis in our country right now. Now, for those of you that are in a home, or like me, even in a rented property, you're thinking, well, what crisis is there? I'm fine. Well, I'm going to tell you, we have a major crisis that is brewing right now. And we're just starting to see a small tip of the iceberg, as they say. Case in point, I was actually doing a show with an organization in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area recently. And they told me a frightening statistic. Homelessness in that region has risen 99% in the last 3 years. That means it's literally doubled. Now, mind you, first of all, you need to get rid of this notion that the person standing in the middle of the street corner with a sign, or somebody who's standing in front of a Walmart parking lot with a sign, yeah, that may have used to have been the stereotypical look of what a homeless person looks like. No longer is that the case. Oh yeah, they're still out there. But what these agencies are telling me, not just in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, but all across the country, is the face of homelessness is now upper, lower to even middle income working families. These are families that have a decent income coming in. At least it used to be a decent income. But the wages are not keeping up with the skyrocketing prices of housing and rentals. And I know I've touched on this briefly in some of the other videos, but it seems like it just falls on deaf ears. It's like nobody's really paying attention. At least nobody that can make a difference. We're seeing statistics now how purchase price of homes nationwide, the median is over $400,000. Well, you don't need me to tell you. A working family, say, making a median, in some cases, income, where depending on where you are, of $60,000, $65,000, the math just doesn't work. Rents going through the roof. And we're not talking about just in large cities, but in smaller communities. An example being, I was recently on a business trip near Knoxville, Tennessee. And I went over to the Maryville, or they pronounce it Maryville, Tennessee area. We actually had a home there about 10 years ago. A really nice home that we owned. I think it was like $125,000. Forget it. That thing is double, maybe triple that price now. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take a look at a couple of these new apartment communities that they're building here. Find out what's going on in the local market in Maryville, Tennessee. Thinking, it's Tennessee, it's East Tennessee. Shouldn't be outrageous. I quickly found out the average rate that I ran across for just one-bedroom apartments. Mind you, a family's not going to fit in a one-bedroom apartment. I mean, they may try and make it work, but one-bedroom apartments were anywhere from $1,700 to $1,900 a month and going up from there for one-bedroom apartments. Now get this, I ran across one complex that you paid a non-refundable reservation fee to go on a waiting list to get an apartment. And the fee was like $500 or $600. And I said, well, where does the money go? Well, it's your reservation fee. I asked, well, do you get it back when you receive an apartment? No, it's a reservation fee. And I said, well, why are the prices so high around here now? It didn't used to be that way. They said part of the reason was that Amazon was building a new factory there. And I believe it was Smith & Wesson moving their headquarters there. So they're anticipating all these people coming in for these jobs. And I guess they think they're going to pay outrageous rates. These jobs are going to pay incredible salaries. So they're basically, I call it price gouging. They're raising these rents to astronomical rates. So the question comes about, what do we do? Well, let me see, I'm going to count the letters. I'm not going to do like our president when he did a 5-letter word. It was actually a 4-letter word. Greed. 5-letter word. Greed. Now again, I'm all for capitalism. I'm all for people making as much money as they can. But when it comes to housing issues, we're going to have to rein it in somewhat. I can't tell you how many of these, especially you'll see high-end realtors and such. And again, mind you, I have a real estate license in California. Pam worked in real estate for years. And a lot of the realtors, I mean, they'll do talk shows and they're giddy about the housing market. Oh no, they'll tell you, if you want a home, you can still get a home. We can get you in a home. We're still selling homes. And indeed they are. But there's a large segment of the population that's really getting hit hard by what I'm calling a housing crisis. And again, it's been characterized as, yes, working upper lower income and middle income families. They're doing the best they can, but they're not able to keep up. Higher wealth, higher paying families, or whatever we call higher income families, they're doing okay, and they've reaped the rewards of being able to sell houses, make more money, upgrade, and that's great. Again, that's great. But we've got to find a way for there to be some affordable housing options for these families. Now, I talked about the changing face of homelessness and how we're seeing families becoming part of the homeless population. The next big wave that's going to be hitting is going to be the senior population. Those who may be aging out of their jobs. Those who are attempting to retire. They are facing a housing crisis. And it's just on the horizon. I know I find it interesting. Here in the Phoenix area, they're opening up some of these, what they call senior lifestyle living apartment complexes. And they'll post notices on Facebook. And immediately though, people check into the rates and they're like, are you crazy? Because the senior population is on fixed incomes. Whether or not they've saved a lot for retirement, whether or not they're just on Social Security, they're on fixed incomes. They're not getting big raises every year. So they're not able to sustain or keep up with the growth in rental rates. Senior apartments in the Phoenix area, the ads I've looked into, some of you out there may find some cheaper. They're generally $1,600 to over $2,000 a month. Now again, these are not assisted living centers, anything like that. They're just senior apartment complexes. Now that's a lot of money. And you might say, well, things have gone up historically over the years. And yes, they have, but they've never gone up at the rates we're seeing now. I mean, an example would be the place that Pam and I had when we were getting ready to buy, and then she got ill. And we've owned homes. We've owned 5 or 6 houses in our lifetime. But where we were living in Oregon, the place we had there that we were renting prior to when we thought we were going to buy, which didn't happen, of course. But anyway, that place in 2019, I rented it for, I believe it was an odd price. It was like $1,058. It was just under $1,100 a month. And it was a nice place. It had 2 bedrooms, living room, kitchen, had an office area, had a garage. It was nice, had a nice backyard. The place became available recently, and a friend of mine there said, you should go to the website and see what they're getting for it now. Mind you, 3-4 years later, from when we initially rented it, $1,058. It's now at $1,975. So that's almost a 90% increase in rent. And you start thinking about it. The people in the Raleigh-Durham area said in the last 3 years, they've seen the homelessness population, among families especially, go up 99%. Well, let's take a look at my property I rented there in Oregon, going from under $1,100 a month to almost $2,000 a month. 99% increase. I can guarantee you If I had stayed there, continued working, my wages would not have gone up 99%. So I would not have been able to keep up with those rental rate increases. And so there you have it. That's what's happening to people out there each and every day in our country. So somehow we've got to figure it out. My advice might be, President Reagan had that famous quote that he said, the scariest words you'll ever hear are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." But I'm wondering, where do we go? Do we all need to start writing Congress and say, quit worrying about all this other stuff and these outside and all these, and let's tackle the housing issues. Maybe if government got as excited about housing issues as they are about everyone getting an electric car, we might get something done. Just imagine if the amount of money they're putting into some of the electric car programs and charging stations and things like that, if they put it into some affordable housing. And that's a tricky word too. We often see that term, affordable housing. And when you then go and look at the affordable housing, you're like, affordable to who? Or to whom? That is the question. So again, this video, I wasn't going to have any answers for you. I don't know what they are. This is more of a conversation starter for you in your communities where you live and work. Because it's happening everywhere, as I mentioned. From major cities like Los Angeles, Phoenix, Atlanta, Nashville, to little old Maryville, Tennessee. It's happening all across our nation. And pretty soon, we're going to have a nation with lots of these families who don't have places to go. So the next time too, when you are looking around and you see a family somewhere, you never know. They may be living in their car, they may be couch surfing, they may be living with relatives. We just don't know. They're kind of in the shadows right now. But trust me, we're going to start seeing them more and more in the open because most of these shelters and organizations tell me they can't meet the need. So these people literally in some cases have no place to go. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Again, give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it. I would highly encourage you to share this so that other people can look at it and maybe have their eyes opened as well. It's kind of like I never understood the loss of a spouse till it happened to me. No, I'm not homeless, but my eyes have been open to this homeless issue by doing these programs with agencies across the country. So think about that. So that's about it. As we always say, have a great day. Better yet, a better tomorrow. Bye now, everyone.